What?
Hello and welcome to the Basketball Addicts Podcast, the one podcast in the world where we answer the one question in the world that everybody wants to know: is how you doing
Mhm.
outside the finals? You can't get in. How can you hate from outside the finals when you can't even get in? Speaking of hate
Nobody
from outside the
knows.
finals, the Lakers will be one of those teams. Sad to say, I'm gonna hang my head in shame right now because oh my gosh, what is going on, dude? Like, how can we win a game? We're 2-10. You have one of the greatest players of all time, and I'm gonna get off this soapbox because I don't want to rant. This is not what the podcast is about. I'm sorry, guys, but it sucks to be a Lakers fan right now.
I would just like to clarify that you're going to be 2-11 after Brooklyn beats them tonight, so it's going to be 2-11. So and
You
they don't
know,
even have LeBron. They don't even have LeBron James
Just
tonight.
salt in the wounds. Just salt in the wounds, man. Salt in
Yeah.
the wound.
you know what the crazy part about this is?
Are you gonna dump on me too, Jason? Is this what this
Oh.
is?
Yeah, this is tag team right now.
That's not
You know
right.
what this? You know who owns our first round pick? The
Who?
Lakers' first round pick, the
Pelicans,
Pelicans.
right? Yeah.
So no matter how many games they lose, it's going to the Pelicans. The Pelicans who gave Victor Wembanyama from the Lakers pick. like this is terrible. This is like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. And yeah, I think they should blow it up.
Mhm.
I would blow it up.
I agree.
Trade everybody. Braun, AD, Russ. Because you got to think about this strategically. Like when you're down 8 games, you're down 2-10. Even if you get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, you still don't have another guy that can defend the wing other than LeBron James. He can't do that every night. You still don't have any other guards that can shot create for themselves. Buddy Hield wouldn't be able to defend. It's not like they have a great bench. It's not like they have a really solid point guard. They don't have any great shot creators other than LeBron. Like they would still be a 44 win team if you put that together. But since they're down already 2-10 in the record, you're not going to make the playoffs, right? There's no realistic way for them to make the playoffs. And the next year, LeBron's going to get older. Anthony Davis, surprisingly, is 29. Like this is his peak. This is the best version of AD
29
we're ever
going
going
on
to
40.
see. Yeah. So I would trade LeBron.
For who?
I think Portland. I would trade him for Portland for young players. I trade him for Shaden Sharp, who's got a vertical out of this world. I mean, he can literally knock his forehead on the rim. He's really young. He's got 3-point shot creation for himself. And Jeremy Grant. And I would trade AD to somewhere like the 76ers for Tyrese Maxey or something along those lines. Get 2 young pieces and rebuild. That's what I would do. I think they won't do that because they love to have the stars there, but I'd move on. Everybody move. Trade them all.
Pelinka sucks. Pelinka sucks.
I agree. I think they should just get. I think they should because you don't. I think LeBron's going to be out for a bit. I think they should try and get rid of Anthony Davis for sure. Russell Westbrook's been playing great coming off the bench. So
Yeah.
if he can keep playing like that and just come off the bench and they can find someone for Anthony Davis, I think Anthony Davis is the main one. When they lost against Sacramento, all my whole everything, my hope for Anthony Davis was gone. I was just like, that's it, man. You're done. Just I would trade him the next day. I would have been like, you're done. After that game, I would have been like, you're traded. Don't even bring your stuff to LA. You're not even allowed back.
Nobody can touch
like,
Mike Brown's offense.
I feel like it's the
Redemption
Monstars,
arc.
right? I feel like it's the Monstars. You know how like in Space Jam, how like everybody, how the aliens took like all of the greatest basketball players' powers or whatever, and then they was like had it in the basketball. I feel like Russ took all of LeBron James and Anthony Davis like basketball powers, and then he became the best basketball player on the floor. And then like LeBron is like sucking, AD is sucking, and he's just like, I'm playing great though. Like, what?
Well,
it's like the Monstars.
LeBron is averaging. I think he's averaging over 30. It's the other two. Well, it was the other two.
I think it's 25.
Is it 25?
It's close. Yeah, I think it's 25.
Yeah, but he's still like doing. I think the main problem here is they got to get rid of Anthony Davis and find someone that's going to fill that void. I don't think he's been since the bubble. He hasn't really done anything. Like you watch his game, he just grabs it. It's really slow. He doesn't do the inside, outside, outside, inside anymore. He just I saw him in a press conference saying that he doesn't want to play the 5 anymore. That he's a 4.
Yeah,
and he can't guard the 5. It's just like, dude, you're 7 feet tall. You're a monster. You should be able to do both. Like, just suck
Yeah,
it
it's
up and
true.
just play. Like, be a two-way player. I don't know.
He has a weak mindset, and it shows in his
Yeah.
skill, shows in his work
Mhm.
ethic. And I think another thing is the media and everybody in general needs to reframe their discussion on LeBron James. You can't expect a 37-year-old to be the number one best player on a playoff team. I don't care how good LeBron is. He just can't do it every night like that. You just can't expect him to do that. He needs a guy. A perfect situation for him would be either when Portland with Dame or in Dallas, for example. Luka's going to get all the buckets, and then having a secondary decision maker is what he is right now on an NBA championship team. It's just completely unreasonable, and Anthony Davis doesn't want to take it, and Anthony Davis isn't just ready mentally. I mean, when are you ever going to be ready? He's going to have a 3 next to his age bracket. Like, this is never going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. It's sad that they traded away Brandon Ingram, Lonzo
Yeah.
Ball, picks, and Brandon Ingram. I would trade Brandon Ingram for Anthony Davis right now, because at least Brandon Ingram looks like he's mentally wants to be that guy. At least he
Yeah.
looks like he's trying to push himself. At least he develops every year. And Lonzo Ball has been a great defender, and he shoots threes and he makes passes. Like, that trade was a failure, which would nobody in a million years would have guessed, because Anthony Davis is a failure. He's a waste of talent. Like, seriously, it's ridiculous how that guy has so much more talent than Giannis. He's in a completely different playing field than Giannis Antetokounmpo's talent. But one guy works like it's nothing else he has to do every single day, and another guy just doesn't want it.
I think Chris, I don't think Chris is going to bring up the Lakers anymore, because Jason just dropped the bomb on Chris.
Yeah.
I just think he's the wrong fit for the Lakers. I think if he goes to another team, he'll be a better fit. I just don't think that he's good with the Lakers, and I guess we'll see what happens tonight. I really don't know what more. I saw a trade in the paper there. I think it was one of the ESPN guys. I think Stephen A. Smith. He said that he would trade Anthony Davis for Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. I don't think that would work.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that would work either. The Lakers don't run the kind of offense that would use Draymond Green anyway.
Well, and the payroll.
Yeah.
Like, those are two big contracts there.
True.
Draymond's on his way out on one of them, but Klay, I think, has they're big contracts. It's not just trading the players either now; it's their contracts. Like, I bet you they wanted the Lakers would get rid of Russell Westbrook a long time ago, but no one's picking up his $47 million contract.
Something ridiculous like that.
It's stupid, man.
Yeah, he's got a lot of money.
He does have a lot of money to be paid out, and it seems like he's gonna be worth it. And like, maybe he might become a hot commodity because he's playing so well. But I just want to respond to your Anthony Davis take, right? So I think that's a really good take, right? I think that he's more of a cautionary tale. I say like he's a cautionary tale for expecting too much out of a player, right? And I think that we had those high expectations first off because of what we seen what Anthony Davis was able to produce when he was with New Orleans.
Yes.
So, and then we brought that to the Lakers, and we was looking at Anthony Davis, who's still looking good, but we have to think about the pieces that were surrounding Anthony Davis and the type of player that he was then. So we can't really judge off of it now, because looking back, he was the exact player that we wanted to be because of the situation he was in. Period. I mean, case in point being Lakers, you had JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, who was consistently playing the center. So Anthony Davis could play the power forward. He likes playing the power forward. When we had DeMarcus Cousins, I mean, like, he didn't want to play the big role. He wanted to be, the power forward. He wanted to be a big, but not, like a center. So I think that looking at that, I think that it's not so much fit. I think it's just that the Lakers just don't have the pieces for him to be the player that he wants to be. He doesn't want to play the center. He doesn't like playing the center. And if he was the type of talent that we think he is, or used to think he is, and that the league used to think he is, then you would build the team so that he would be able to thrive as well as LeBron would be able to thrive. There are centers out there who can knock down shots as well, at a consistent clip. Cat being one of them. Not saying that he was going to be available, but that's just the idea. That would allow Anthony Davis, or maybe they need maybe a more of a rough and rugged center like a Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee. Maybe a let me think of one.
They need a center that
like
can
a
shoot it,
Steven Adams or something like that.
that can shoot a jump
Like
shot. That's what they need. They don't need like a
yeah,
big guy. Like they tried that
Mm-hmm.
with Dwight Howard, and he got exposed like a lot from bringing him out.
yeah.
So I was just looking at the stats, and Anthony Davis is averaging 23 points right now, 23, 10, and 2 or something like that. That's basically what his
Mm-hmm.
career average is. And LeBron's averaging 24 a game. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
they need some 30-point perform, like 30 points per game each. If the Lakers even are thinking about even playoffs or the championship. So
Yeah.
I mean,
they're no Luka. They're no Luka
Yeah.
Doncic. I can tell you that.
No. Nope.
no.
No,
Yeah.
not after last night.
At least you're not getting blown out, but
The
We'll see what
only
happens
thing
tonight. We'll see what happens
Don't do
tonight.
the only thing I would push back a little bit, Chris, on AD with his wanting
Mhm.
to play the 4 is his visual reaction to playing the 5.
Uh-huh.
That's the reason why I feel so negatively about him, because he doesn't have the right mentality to take on challenges. Okay, I haven't played the 5 most of my career. I'm just gonna go out and take this challenge, right? I'm gonna try to become better, right? He doesn't have that kind of mentality. Like Magic Johnson may not have ever played center any time in his career other than high school before 1979 game 6 of the NBA finals, but Kareem's down and we need to win a game. Okay, that
Mhm.
point guard's going to play center that game. Right? He
Yeah.
took on the challenge and he's one of the greatest. And
Mhm.
that guy that takes on the challenge grew his skill wise and showed that that's the kind of guy he was, and he's going to keep on growing from there. That's what I mean
Yeah.
by ADs. He doesn't take the challenge. He keeps on sending signals that he's just not. He's weak mentally. That's my point of what I'm trying to make. Even though I think you're right, he's better at the 4 in the NBA because he gets to switch. And then he gets to be taller than everybody else, and he kind of that's what his best position is. I'm saying in the team needs him to play the 5, so he
Yeah.
should be taking that challenge instead of limiting his mind with excuses.
Very true. Very true. Like I said, I wasn't disagreeing. I was just making a point, saying that, as far as him wanting to be the 4, you see, that's how teams were able to win with him playing that position. So, okay, well, moving on from the Lakers because they're 2-10, so there's not much to say there.
Right.
I'm gonna cry a little bit on the inside, but
we should talk about the team. Let's talk about the team that that defeated the Lakers, the Jazz. The Jazz.
Yes. Who?
Okay.
I say this all the time, but who would have thought the Jazz would have been so great? And who would have thought that Lauri Markkanen would have became the player that he's became this year? I didn't see that coming. I didn't.
No,
I didn't.
I didn't even think the Utah Jazz were even going to have a record like this. They got 6 players, I believe, that are in double digits right now scoring. And Kelly Olynyk's getting 12 a game, so something's working.
Right. Who's the coach over there?
I can't even name his name. He's really young. Really, I think he's probably the youngest coach in the NBA.
Whatever he's doing it right. I'm glad that they finally split up Donovan Mitchell and tried something new over there. I mean, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. But they finally split them up and started something new. Because whatever it is, they're working. They're number 1 in the West. Who would have thought?
10 and 2. They're playing as a team. When you watch them, they play as a team. Like there's no when you're watching the Lakers and the Philly and Brooklyn, they always got like Durant or LeBron or someone. They're playing as like a whole team. Like guys come off the bench, they know their spots. They're playing the defense. Like you're actually watching team basketball when you're seeing the Utah Jazz. It's like watching the good old days with Stockton and Malone, and they had Byron Russell, and they had Greg Ostertag, Jeff Hornacek.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of those guys.
Yeah, I would say that I don't expect it to continue. I think they're gonna fall off, but I feel like it's a good story for the coach. I feel like it's a good stomping ground for the coach to gain some momentum. I feel like they wanted to tank for Victor. Looks like it may not be as good as you planned it out to be tanking wise, but I think Lauri Markkanen, even though I think I feel like I haven't seen a bigger correlation for jumps this season than FIBA. So FIBA, a few big guys are making big jumps. Giannis has more skill this year because he was playing in Greece and he had to develop his mid range more. Luka Doncic was losing his mind in his Slovakian team in FIBA, and he's dominating the NBA right now. Lauri Markkanen was playing for Denmark, and he was showing more skill than most. Like, he was really having 30-point games. Like, he was really, coming in with confidence. And I feel like a lot of these guys coming in from the FIBA World Cups, and they're coming in with a lot of confidence into this NBA season, and you're seeing it translate. So I feel like it's a good thing for NBA players moving forward. Maybe you want to get more involved with FIBA Cup. I mean, even Jokic was playing. Like, all the big European guys were playing. So I think it's something that more players are going to try to do, because I definitely feel like a confidence boost has happened for those guys.
I can see that.
Yeah, you can see with Giannis's game now, he's sort of gotten more of the outside touch playing in the summertime there. So
yeah,
and Luka Doncic last year in the Olympics was just scorching people, literally just scorching people. Like, they had to have fire trucks. They had to have fire trucks at courtside because he was just cooking people, just literally cooking people.
Goodness!
If it wasn't for Durant. If it wasn't for Kevin Durant, USA would have never won that Olympics. Because he scorched them, literally. They needed super stokers in the crowd just to stop him. It was just like, you're literally on fire. Some of the shots he was taking was just ridiculous.
See, like every NBA fan that did not watch FIBA highlights or anything like that during the offseason was missing out on some really crazy stuff. Yeah. Darren is not messing around. He's very honest.
No. I'm telling you right now, if you want to watch like a highlight reel, just go watch him in the Olympics last. Oh my goodness, just scorching people. It was just like, and it's like, I don't know if we want to talk about this next, but yesterday's game when he dropped 42, 13, and 10, which is just ridiculous. Unreal right now. Unreal. He is unreal. He's my favorite player to watch in the league right now. He's been since the beginning. He's just so smooth. Like, he's not like really fast, but when he gets you into the breaks you down, man, he's so smooth. He'll put you one way and then he's got you the other. And his step back three, it looks like it's really slow, but you don't even know when he's gonna launch it. Like, he might he's got that hesitation where he might pull that shot or just go by you. So it's crazy, just the way he's doing it. And with Dallas, like, he doesn't have many tools with Dallas. He has like great surrounding players that fit the roles, but he doesn't have like any like LeBron, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, no Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, which I'm sure we'll get to later. But other than that, man, I think he's MVP. I'm calling MVP right now. He's going to take it.
Yeah.
I've seen the MVP ladder. I think he's like second on the ladder, and Ja's like third.
I hope not. I hope he's not second.
Giannis is one. What? I think Luka's two. And Ja
Who
is
the
three.
Fuck made that ladder? Luka's averaging 34 and like
36.
No, right now I have him at 34.
He's at 34?
Yeah.
I thought he was at 36.
34, 8, and
That was probably last week.
Oh my God. Embiid just dropped 59 points.
Whoa.
Well, I guess that ladder just went up, didn't
it? Yeah.
He just dropped 59 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, and 7 blocks.
That's crazy.
76ers 105-98 victory over Jazz.
Yeah, we know on the inside right now. Yeah, so Giannis is number one in the MVP tracker right now. Yeah, and Luka's second. Oh. Jason Tatum's third. Donovan Mitchell's fourth. Nikola Jokic, who they're not showing any respect for with the MVP or anything, is fifth. I would like to see him.
It's voter fatigue.
I would love to see him win the third one.
Voter fatigue. It's hard to win a 3 in a row.
It looks like Jokic is averaging 21. That's probably why.
Yeah. Jason Tatum's going crazy though.
Yeah, he's having a good year. I think Luka is. I feel like 1 and 2 in the league best players is Giannis and Luka right now. Mm-hmm. I feel like those two guys are ridiculous, and
they're international.
Yeah, that's so true. And I feel like, I think like Luka is a more of a winning basketball version of James Harden. What I mean by that is James Harden had a moment in time where he was putting up stats like this, right? But James Harden always had this feel of he is really, really good, but this passing stats might be a little overrated. Luka Doncic is a way better passer. Luka Doncic seems so much more mentally engaged. Like James Harden seemed like a really great player, but Luka Doncic feels like a killer. Luka Doncic just has that feel of like you step on the court, I'm taking your throat. And I don't feel like Harden ever had that kind of energy. And I just feel like Luka is just there to just kill people. He's out there. It's man versus man, and I'm just gonna destroy you slowly. Like it's just. I feel like Luka. I feel like I know you don't like these comparisons, but Larry Bird is kind of the way I view Luka. Like I view Luka as
Baby Bird.
I view Luka as Baby Bird. It's just a different era. I know you love Larry Bird. I get it. But I feel like they're so similar because they're both slow. They're both ridiculous buckets. They're both killers. Neither one of them's really gifted defensively. And Luka's a great 3-point shot creator for himself, and they're both hell of a passers. Larry Bird's a better rebounder. They both score from kind of different spots, but I feel like the effect on the game is similar to Larry Bird. Now I understand.
Right now. I'm about ready to end this right now. Did Luka Doncic win NBA championship in his first NBA season? Nope.
I don't think Larry Bird.
He sure did. Larry Bird did. Larry Bird.
That was Magic Johnson.
Nope. Larry Bird won in his first NBA season. Yeah.
No, it didn't.
All right. Fine.
Magic Johnson. Larry
Basketball
Bird.
reference that.
Magic Johnson played Larry Bird in NCAA championships, and then that year Magic played Dr. J. Dr. J. Philadelphia 76ers beat the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, 1979.
Oh,
hold on.
Jason breaking out the basketball knowledge.
That's fine. I'm just got the same internet that Chris has right now. When did
Magic's ring?
Larry.
That's when he played center.
Bird.
Yeah, didn't Magic win right out of college? He won NBA. He won Rookie of the Year, Finals MVP, and
Larry Bird won Rookie of the Year.
I thought Magic Johnson won Rookie of the Year the first year.
Larry Bird whooped him in Rookie of the Year voting.
So Larry Bird won his first NBA championship in 1981.
Yeah, he was drafted in 79. So
what?
He was drafted in 79 with Bird with Magic.
They came in the same time. Didn't they have like a rivalry because of college?
Yeah, they played each other in the NCAA championship. Indiana State versus Michigan State. Bird was drafted technically in 78 though, because they drafted him a year early.
No, they said that in 79-80, that was his first season.
Yeah.
So he won the championship in his first year. Basically.
Well, if he won the championship in the first year, that would be the 80 season.
Yeah, but
you said Bird won it 81.
I didn't say 81. I said he won in his first NBA season. I didn't say 81. I said his first NBA season, which he did. Luka didn't do that. Yeah, man. 1979, Larry Bird won his first NBA championship. And 1979-80 was his first NBA season. He won the championship in his first year.
Well, I got the pushback, right? When LeBron first came into the league, we compared him to Jordan, right? It was like, oh, he's the next Jordan, blah, blah, blah. And then LeBron overtakes Jordan, but it took him several years to get to the championship and win one. So I feel that doesn't really equate too much just because it took him a longer time. Because Luka, you don't know, they're playing great. They might get some good pieces coming in. You know what I mean? Because people might want to play with Luka, and then they might win a championship next year. It does. I mean, I don't think the time limit to win a championship really equates to whether or not they're equal. I think more skill wise on the same level. I can see where everybody's been coming from, because I hear it on the ESPN, not the ESPN because I don't like watching ESPN. On the podcast all the time that Luka's like Bird.
Actually, I'd like to clarify. It was 1981 '84 and '86 is when he won. So he won in his second year, didn't he?
Yes. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So did
Magic.
Luka win his NBA championship in his second? Okay, that's the end of the discussion right there. Let's move forward. Let's move
Better
forward. And he's a
team.
3-time MVP. Like, come on, man.
It's true.
Luka's not going to become a 3-time MVP. Look at Jokic.
Championships are team accolades.
He's not even compared.
Instead, you think is the greatest player of all time. I get it.
No, Michael Jordan is. I think Michael Jordan is, but Larry Bird is like definitely in the top 10.
Oh yeah, I think we can all agree on that.
I did like Larry Bird until I saw Michael Jordan actually watch the game on YouTube and watch him scorch my Celtics for 63 and make Larry Bird look like a puppet on the sideline doing like 8 dribbles and then dropping a jump shot on him. I was like, he's done. I was like,
isn't that the game where it said that wasn't Michael Jordan, that was Jesus wearing Michael Jordan's skin or something like that?
Yeah.
So then I said, you know what? I just heard a quote from him. Michael Jordan's the best ever. Michael Jordan's the best ever.
I would go.
Here we go.
It's understandable. It's understandable. It's understandable.
Chris is sitting there. He's like, LeBron James. I'm telling you.
It is LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. I don't care.
But I do
live
think
and die on that.
Luka and Giannis can enter this top 10 discussion at the end of their careers.
Yes.
I feel like they're going to be in this discussion. I don't know about top 5 because, top 5 for me, let's just take order out of it for the specifics of it. The top 5 for me is LeBron James. I don't think either one of them is going to be LeBron because they both have glaring weaknesses. One can't shoot a 3. The other one can't defend a beanpole. So completeness of LeBron is never going to be matched. Michael Jordan's ridiculously gifted athlete, 36 points per game or something ridiculous regular season wise. He has averaged that. Like, I'm not kidding. Scoring titles on scoring titles. You got to contend with Kareem, who dominated college, high school, and then the NBA. 6 MVPs, 6 NBA finals, ridiculously consistent. I don't know if either Wilt's in this conversation, right? And Shaq's in that conversation. So is Magic and Bird. And it's kind of hard for people to break that interior for a top 5. So I think top 10 is possible, but I don't know about top 5.
Yeah.
Well, the honest story there, he's got the accolades already, like a defensive player of the year. He's won the championship multiple times, MVP. So he's got those. He's got everything. It's just we'll see what happens with him down the road here. Like Milwaukee's playing amazing right now this year.
Yeah.
Again. So I think they're coming out in the East for sure.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna eat basically any team in the East right now. I thought Miami was going to do something, but they are, I don't know what's going on with them. I don't like saying, like, I like Jimmy Butler, but it's time for Jimmy Butler to step it up here a bit. He's been in that league too long. He needs to start doing something here.
I feel like Jimmy Butler's playoff specific points per game projection, he needs to be a little more realistic because he likes to sit at 22 points per game in the regular season, then turn it on to 30, 32, 33 in the playoffs. He's got to bring it every night in the regular season for this team right now to be in the playoffs, to even get there.
Yeah.
So he's got to score more. And,
Kyle Lowry's not going to cut it. He's
so old.
And it's just the same old thing. And Bam Adebayo, he's playing decent. You got Tyler Hero, who's on the bench a lot now with injuries and stuff. Duncan Robinson's playing all right. It's just, they're not like they were when they played the Lakers in the finals, though. I can tell you that. So
not as balanced at all. They're used to have that defensive formula of having a wing next to Jimmy Butler so that he could guard, the main player, and Jimmy can focus on offense. But now Jimmy has to do both sides. So it's poorly built team, and I feel like offensively they restrict Bam and Tyler Hero and don't let them play freely to just make them play within the offense way too much, I feel like. But that's just me.
Yeah. Well, another team that's not doing so well in the East, I think, is a good segue, is the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, they win a couple games, but me personally, the game that I did watch, right, which, I was like a little bit on the fence about watching it. I just saw a lot of things that I didn't quite like, right? And they won that game. They played the Knicks, the battle for New York, but they just did not look like a great team.
Mm.
Yeah, Cam Thomas had his little flashes. You know what I mean? He was knocking down some mid range shot. He was able to create, but he's like he's not Kyrie. Not saying
No.
like you know what I mean? Like no, he's not on that level of Kyrie. Like he can create for himself a little bit. Seth Curry can knock down some good shots, you know what I mean? But Ben
Mhm.
has to create for others. He's able to do that. Only person on that team who can truly create at a high level is Kevin Durant. And when he's not on the floor and it's just Ben and like role players or however you want to call them, they look lost.
Mhm.
I don't know if you've seen it, but they look very lost. It's like Cam tries to knock down the same shot after the same shot after the same fall away 2-pointer from the game that I was watching. I can only talk about that because it's the only one I've seen, and I just was like, this doesn't look like yeah they're winning, but I think
Mhm.
they're winning strictly off of the talent of Kevin Durant. Other than
Yeah.
that, they're not that great of a team. They 4-1 without Kyrie, and they're like, oh yeah, just look what they're doing without Kyrie. I'm like, but with Kyrie, I mean, like if they could just get it to work a little bit better,
Mhm.
they might be a little bit better team, and then I might look at it a little different. But they just cannot create. It's very sad the way they run their offense.
Kevin Durant dropped a triple double that game against New York. He was amazing. He was
Yeah,
amazing that game. He was like when he played that game. That was an amazing game. He hasn't played that well like that. He's been playing actually pretty. He's been playing better since Kyrie's left.
yeah,
Mhm.
So I don't know. I personally, I don't know. We'll see what happens with him down the line here, but I do agree with Chris. They need to get something going. Ben Simmons. I'd like to see Ben Simmons do something,
he looked
but
Mhm.
terrible.
it doesn't look like he's not like he was in Philly. So I guess we'll see
No,
what happens up until deadline. And I guess it all depends on what's going on with Kyrie, if he's going to come back, if he's going to get traded, if what's going to happen when he does come back. Are people going to watch him or boycott? It's just a bunch of drama with that guy. So it's just,
Mhm.
yeah,
I guess we'll see what happens. I know it's like a soap opera with the Nets.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think people should talk about how impactful a bad organization could be in the NBA more. And I feel like the Nets are your clear cut example of this. You know what I mean?
Used to be
Like
Sacramento.
yeah, I mean it's they're in that tier of organizations. I mean, they haven't won consistently for a very long time, and I feel like even Darren brought up a good point last podcast where they had Steve Nash and they were heading into this offseason and they were thinking of firing him, and then you wait until the regular season. Now you didn't have time to really vet and search for a coach. Um, and they had to feel rushed to do it. And that's just another sign of a bad organization. But the reason why I really feel like they're a bad organization is they're letting everybody else manipulate them way too easily when it comes to their internal issues. With all the Kyrie Irving stuff, they're way too reactive. I mean, a 5-game suspension for him, that's egregiously bad, right? He doesn't deserve that for what he posted, and you know what I mean? And then it's just the reaction of the media and them always placating the media. And then, the Ben Simmons stuff and the Steve Nash stuff. And one of my clear cut observations for this is they, in my mind, did not hire Ime Udoka because they did want to deal with the news and the backlash of hiring him. Just all he did was literally sleep with a coworker. Literally, that's all he did. That's it. I get the Boston Celtics suspended him, but that's all that you had to worry about was signing him. He is so far a gazillion miles ahead of that assistant coach that they brought in, just Jock Vaughn, because they
Yeah.
wanted to stabilize their environment. You
Mm-hmm.
know who needs stabilization? Organizations that cannot force stabilization on crazy situations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my example that I was talking to Chris about was in 2000, I want to say 2003, 2002, in the Lakers organization, which was very well run back then. They had Jerry West in the organization, they had Jeannie Buss, they had Jerry Buss, and like that was very, very well run. Kobe Bryant comes out with his sexual assault allegation. They don't suspend him for the whole year. They don't feed into the firestorm that was going on. They protected him and said, okay, if something comes out that he gets guilty for it, well, that's okay, but we're going to stand by him and not force anything onto it. And we're going to input
our stability onto the situation rather than going, oh, me, somebody save us, somebody please stabilize this crazy situation. No, they were the Lakers. They've been business doing a very good job being a well-run organization since the 70s, and they handled that situation extremely well. And the Brooklyn Nets lack of being a good organization completely negated their ability to get the right head coach for the job, which was Ime Udoka. And it's a shitty organization, and KD and Kyrie should not have chose to went there. Kevin Durant should have chose to went there, and I'm sorry and sad for him. He has to spend the last few years of his prime there.
Well, I think I know with Jason, my thing with Kyrie, I don't think he should have put that on there, and I think what he did afterwards made it worse. He could have just said, you know what, I just posted something on there. He didn't need to go into this like black, white, bringing in Jewish people, all this kind of stuff. He should have just left it at that. But it really like dragged on. Me personally, I think the guy. I think it's a double standard here. I was talking to Jason before we went on the air here, and I said like I think there was a gentleman for the Miami Heat. I was saying he was on his video game thing. He said an anti-Semitic slur for the Miami Heat. The next day he got kicked off the team. He got banned. He got traded to another team. The team kicked him off. Then you see Kyrie Irving post something on there, then go on these rants, and this guy's still playing in the league. I think it's like a double standard. I just think that if Kyrie Irving was not a great basketball player, he would be out of the league right now. I just think with what he's doing, I'm not even a big fan of the Brooklyn Nets anymore because of what he's done. So that's just my thing. I just think the guy should be. I totally disagree with what he's been doing, and I think 5 games is not enough. Like caves it in for saying stuff like that. I don't think it's right.
So I guess I gotta go last, huh? Okay. So here's my whole thought process on everything that's been said, and I didn't really want to get into politics because I know that's a really touchy subject, especially politics in the NBA, especially how things are being handled. But me personally, I'm just like confused. For one, he posted something, whatever he may have believed in or whatever he may have seen. He maybe wanted to, see, maybe it was parts of that he wanted, that he, thought that people should look at or whatever. It was just a link, literally a link, right? And as soon as people see that link, jump correctly down his throat. Just, oh, Kyrie's this, Kyrie's that, Kyrie's this, Kyrie's that. But my big problem with this is that if it's such a big deal, and I believe it is, I believe that there's no place in the world for anti-Semitism. That link has nothing to do with Kyrie the basketball player. That's a link that has everything to do with the website on which that link can be found. There are people profiting from this film that is so bad that it caused Kyrie to have a laundry list of things to do in order to come back into the league from his suspension. But there are people profiting from said film, and there is no backlash, nothing going towards them. People, case in point, Amazon. This film can be found on Amazon, yet there is no backlash, no disdain, nothing for Jeff Bezos and for his company. Yes, there should be some form of, I wouldn't say censorship, but if you're going to get mad at somebody for posting a link, let's get mad where the link came from, in my opinion. Now, to get off of that, because I like, some people may not agree with what I say, and I just want to keep that all off there, because, like I said, politics aside, now thinking back into basketball, right, I think that Jason made a perfectly good point. I think that the Brooklyn Nets are a poorly run organization. I feel that if there was something, they should have protected, Kyrie Irving is a basketball player. He's a human, but he's also an asset to that team. So when you want to win games and things like that, you protect those assets. Kobe Bryant was valuable to the Lakers, therefore they didn't even feed into that. But the reason that people are feeding into this and has made it such a big deal is because of the monstrous rise of social media, giving so many people a voice and allowing them to comment on things that they should not be able to comment on. In the 2003, there is no social media presence like it is now.
True.
You know what I mean? So nobody can say anything about Kobe Bryant. They can say things now, like the lady who said something after the crash. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant and Gigi Bryant. After the crash, she made a remark about the case and things like that. things that he was found not guilty of. But you know what I mean? Without that, if you put Kyrie back then and you do this and you in the same exact situation happens, that this situation that we have right now with the Brooklyn Nets does not happen, because there are people who can no longer comment, who are commenting now, who makes things worse. Once you feed into the media, once you feed into the propaganda of everybody else pushing the same thing, the same narrative, there are people on social media arguing about this every single day. Once you see that and they're tagging the Brooklyn Nets, they should do something about this, this should not stand, giving all these people a voice has really put pressure on these organizations to perform in a way that the masses want them to. That's the whole problem with social media. I'm gonna get off my soapbox because I don't want to go into this, but that's just my whole take on it. I honestly believe that the Brooklyn Nets are a poorly run organization. They should have protected Kyrie. And I also believe that there should be fingers pointed not just at Kyrie, because maybe there were points in that movie where he was like, hey, I kind of, I think that you should watch it for 1, 2, and 3. And not the entire movie, because he even came out and said that there's some things in that movie that I do not agree with. But if he should not be charged and forced to be labeled because of the entire film when there's only certain points, and then the people who are profiting from said film should be at just his fault. That's just my take on it.
Have you heard after, like, when he posted the movie that he did, the interviews that he did afterwards?
I follow him on Twitter, and I've seen the interviews.
He like went like really, really like crazy, like started saying like the blacks and the Jews, and it just started going like really crazy non-basketball stuff. It was just, I don't know, man. I just don't think it's like really necessary. I'm just not. I've been to Germany, man. I've been to like an actual like the camps where they did all that crazy, bad, horrible stuff. And when I just don't think it's really like, what if you would have went and posted something like, he's a professional athlete, like he should know, because of his post, places like Jewish places now, they need security when they go into their churches and stuff like that because of this guy. Like, he caused a lot of bad things. He wanted the black people against white people, a lot of politics. I don't know. It was what he did afterwards is what got me. Like, when he posted it, I just see his interviews were just crazy. He went like total Kanye or Ye or whatever his name is this week.
I feel like it's just the period in time that we are in that, everything's a little bit more amplified. Sure. I mean, since the beginning of all of this, America, because I'm not sure what the Canadian history, I can't speak on that, Darren, but it's always been black and white. That's just how it's been, so it's nothing that's created out of this. This wasn't created out of thin air, it didn't just come, okay, Kyrie posted this and all of a sudden there's black versus white. It's been that way in America. That's not something that, that's something that we hope that we know to be true. Like, it's a different situation because, if you guys ever see this, if you're ever able to see this video wise, and before Darren joined, it's me and Jason. It's a black guy and a white guy. I mean, and I consider this man a brother to me.
Yeah.
So it's like,
too.
So Darren's cool too. So it's just like, I mean, this exists, but that doesn't mean that you have to feed into it. So I'm just saying, Darren, like, it's not like it didn't just, whoo, it was always here.
No, okay.
But it's just whether or not you choose to feed into it.
Well, I don't feed into it. I just didn't like just what he was doing. Like, when I saw the press conferences afterwards, like, he had a chance to go and apologize and maybe be like more for why he posted it, rather than going on an Ultimate Warrior rant, which led to him getting suspended. And then after he gets suspended, then he posts why he was apologetic, because he's losing 5 games pay and might not be going back for a while. So it was what he did afterwards is what got me. Like, he should just
apology afterwards.
Yeah, he didn't even like apologize. He didn't apologize until after he got suspended. Until that and he did it at night, and he wrote it on IG. It was just like, you should have did it before you got suspended, not after you got punished. That's like a kid getting the cookie afterwards and getting his hands slapped and all that kind of crap, right? It's like
yeah,
weird stuff. I don't know. Just talk about something else, because I could be doing this all day. I'm not a fan of Kyrie Irving.
I'm not into the politics.
If I was able, I'm just not a fan of that guy. Not a fan.
Yeah. I got to get off the politics. I don't like the politics of basketball right now. It's a very weird space in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So going forward now, let's talk about those Cavs. We believe wine and gold still? I think so.
they're like in the category of Utah. They're
yeah.
They're surprised. I am surprised. They're doing good. They got a couple injuries right now, but they will do good. I think they're definitely going to make playoffs.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. That's neither here nor there. Speaking of Utah, right? What I wanted to say earlier, but we kind of like moved past that, was and I'm glad I'm going back because you mentioned Utah again. Was that I see them more like Atlanta Hawks. You know, like that.
What? Whoa! Atlanta Hawks would sweep them in a playoff series, 4-0.
In Utah?
Yes, Atlanta would.
No, not
them.
this Atlanta Hawks. I'm talking about the Atlanta Hawks that was like the 1 seed, and then they went against LeBron Lakers.
Kyle
didn't have a
Korver,
definitive
Jeff
star.
Teague,
Yeah,
Al Horford. I know exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Utah Jazz would destroy the Atlanta Hawks right now.
Oh, no way.
Destroy. In a playoff series. Would destroy them.
Look, I think the Atlanta Hawks are a better team than Boston Celtics right now. I think they run them off.
You're only going as far as Trae Young can shoot that ball, buddy. That's it.
Not anymore since I have DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray's going to be getting that basket.
Oh, it's getting good. It's getting good. He said the magic words. Yeah. He said
he has a couple good games. DeJounte Murray, and everyone thinks he's like the next like.
He made All-Star game last year.
He made at All-Star game. He's not like the next Dominique Wilkins.
No, I don't need him to be. I need him to be the number 2 to Trae Young.
When the Utah has like 5 in a bench, they got 6 players that are in double figures. They would eat the Hawks. Eat them.
Run them off the floor.
For dinner. Would shoot them and eat them for dinner.
That's the thing, though, because if they're like that Atlanta Hawks team, I mean, like...
They're better.
You know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Utah is like that Atlanta Hawks team, like the Jeff Teague, Al Horford, Paul Millsap, Kyle Korver team, where they was like a number 1 seed, and they was getting players of the week constantly, just a greatly coached team. And then they met the real number 1 seed in the first round, and they broke the record for most threes in a game on that team.
Yeah.
I think they hit like 13, 14 threes in a game as a team.
Yeah.
It was something ridiculous. Like, it might have been even more than that. It was something ridiculous like that. And I just see Utah as like the Atlanta Hawks, right? Where they're going to do great in the regular season, right? They're going to win. They're going to, we're going to hold the 1 and 2 seed. They're going to, we're going to overachieve. We're doing great. They're going to get in the playoffs and get smacked down. It's just what's going to happen because they're going to run into that playoff atmosphere because they're a young team, but believe it or not. They're going to run into that seasoned team and just get smacked like no tomorrow. And then they're going to lick their wounds, come back the next year.
Utah.
And that's just because they don't have a definitive star.
No. Trae Young is like 1 pick away from being put in the hospital. That guy is so small. Like, you can do a pick and roll on him, he's done. Someone sets one good on him, he's good, he's done. And then that's it. Utah is running over them with a starting 5.
We'll never be able to prove this, but they would run.
What's the season record? Have they played already? Have they played against each other already?
I don't know. I think Jason, the Jazz are.
I'll bet you $20 that the Utah Jazz will have a better record than the Atlanta Hawks this season.
Oh, I'll take that right now.
What are Atlanta Hawks with that right now?
I bet you the Utah Jazz don't win more than 45 games. This is a fluke.
Utah will have. I think Utah is
games.
one of those teams this year that you're going to see them just start going crazy because the other teams got injuries. Most of them. A lot of these, like Harden's out. Embiid just came back from wherever he came from. He just dropped 59. I don't even know where Embiid went. Embiid just came back, dropped 59. So it's just like he's back. You got LeBron out. AD is Westbrook's coming off the bench. Like, who else you got? Brooklyn, Ben Simmons. Only thing that I can think about is Giannis and Luka right now.
Don't forget Golden State. Don't sleep.
No, still got Curry. You could sleep on them a little bit because their bench is not gelling right now. Draymond Green looks like he's kind of not the same.
I think they're not gelling since the punch to Jordan Poole. I think that really shook that whole team up.
Yeah.
You just don't see them clicking anymore. Like when I watched the body language between Jordan Poole and Draymond on the court, Listen, if someone punched me like that in practice and I had to go back and there wouldn't be no Draymond Green. There wouldn't be no Draymond Green because I'm waiting for him in the parking lot if you sucker punch me like that. And then we're going at it. And we're doing some Yellowstone stuff. We're not fighting to the death. That's what's going to be happening. All right. You're not going to. I don't know if you guys watch. Anyone who's listening to this, watch that video. The guy just comes out of the blue. He talks crap and just does the like Superman Roman Reigns punch. And if that wall wasn't there, Jordan Poole would have been out. I don't know how you can come back
went
from
to
that.
Sleep. He melted.
Yeah. He literally like Draymond was like, "Oh, I'll just hold you and caress you for a second as I just knocked you out." Like he's holding him like a little child as you can see him, he's like just holding him. It's just like, oh, it's just weird, man. Like, and then the next day it's like, okay, well, you got like a couple days suspension, but we're gonna be playing. He's coming back opening night. If I was Jordan Poole, man, I'd be like, I want to trade. I'm done. I'm out of here.
Jordan Poole got the bag though. Jordan Poole got 140 for 4.
He got the bag because he got knocked out. That's like that.
He was counting sheep.
Like Jordan Poole should know that when you're yakking your mouth, hands up at all times, but you just don't sit there. Like you just see him, he looked like a fish. Like he literally looked like a fish, dude. It was crazy. And you can see that on the court. You see them like when they're talking. Like Jordan Poole doesn't give a crap what Draymond says. Get rid of Draymond Green, Warriors will be fine. It's who Draymond Green they're gonna get, like in return for, is the question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still see Draymond as like that glue, you know what I mean, a little bit, until he punched Jordan Poole. Like I saw him like the guy who was like, he's kind of like a on the court leader, like he's a vocal leader is what I want to get. Like, you know, I see Curry more like a quiet guy, but like Draymond's the one who's like going to get everybody riled up, get them together, galvanize the troops, and get them to win games, like vocally on the court. So like I feel like that was just his emotion, you know what I mean? I feel like, not to go back because that happened so long ago, but I feel like it was more like of his emotion. I feel like Jordan Poole was mouthing off to him, probably like, we don't need you. I'm better than you anyway. How many points did you score? Pop, went to sleep. And then he was like, now how many sheep do you count? Like, you know what I mean? Man. Like, I don't know.
And it's still carrying over like that. You just like you said, Chris, it's happened such a long time ago, but you can see it carrying through the season. Like they are not the same since the beginning of the opening night. Like they beat they beat the Lakers, but like like 12 blind people. That's not hard. 12 blind people could beat the Lakers right now. All right, that's how bad it is. All right.
All right, Darren.
Yeah, I can't. My Celtics right now are like they're doing good. They're doing all right. They're up and down. But they're not the Lakers. They're not 2-10.
It's true.
You see Marcus Smart try to lob it to Jason Tatum.
I try not to watch Marcus Smart in his hair. Like, I can't take it. If I was a teammate, I'd try to shave that. Just grab razors. It's weird, man. No, I'm not. Marcus Smart is a defensive specialist. He's not. He's not known for the alley-oop and that kind of stuff. And Jason Tatum needs to keep playing like this because if he doesn't, my Celtics don't got a chance in hell of winning a championship this year. Just like Vince said, no chance in hell, buddy. No chance in hell.
No chance in hell.
It's a crazy thing that like let's do this real quickly. The craziest thing right now is if we all had to say if I had to say stop the season right now, who would win the NBA championship? I would choose the Bucks, especially if I have Chris Middleton healthy. But like,
I'm going Utah.
They're not getting out of the first round, but we'll just leave it at that. If I had to list,
you said right now they have the best record in the West right now. They are 10-2. Show some respect to the Utah Jazz, man. Like, come on.
10-5.
I would say that
you're getting hate mail here soon from Utah.
I would say the Celtics.
I would go Bucks. I feel like the Celtics haven't really hit their stride offensively and defensively. I feel like Jason Tatum's just carrying right now, putting a great stellar performance individually.
And Jaylen Brown.
Team-wise, I feel like
that's what they need, though. They just need Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to go crazy. Go ahead.
You're getting to my point is if I had to list teams more talented than the Bucks that just haven't put it together yet, I could list the Boston Celtics. I could list the 76ers. I mean, James Harden, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. They're probably more talented. The Brooklyn Nets have Ben Simmons, KD, Kyrie Irving. When they're on the floor, they're more talented. In the West,
Simmons? Do they really have Ben Simmons? Like, which one
they got a shell.
He was in the All-Star game a few years ago. He has talent, right? I'm not talking about on court. We're just talking about talent. We're talking about the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are more talented as a team. The Grizzlies probably have more talent than the Bucks. It's close, but that my point is right now a lot of the top tier talents just haven't put it together yet at all. And I feel like it's kind of messing up the way that NBA standings and the way that the league is going right now. And it's just so you can't predict the future right now. I would if Ime was still the Boston Celtics coach, I would have said preseason the Boston Celtics are going to win the NBA championship. Like I was really high on them before Ime got fired. It's so much in flux based off of the way these teams are just playing. They're having issues, can't gel. Draymond Green's knocking people out. Like they just so many there's so many unpredictable issues right now that this could be a season where a team like Milwaukee may get a ring and may not be a top 4, top 5 most talented team in the NBA, but they gel well. They have great chemistry. They have one of the best players in the NBA, and they have a solid team. They play defense and offense, right? And it might be one of those years where the talented teams just don't put it together.
I think we'll see what happens by trade deadline for the Warriors. I think they will make a move, and I think they will get rid of Draymond Green. Yeah, I just don't. And they're really not. He wants a contract extension for next season, so they're really not going to be losing anything. I think they're probably going to gain something if they make a smart trade. It's just who's going to go for Draymond. I wouldn't trade anyone right now other than Draymond. Klay Thompson's coming back from his injuries. I am very surprised that he even won a championship with the Warriors last year, so he's got to pass on my he can come back into his shooting shape whenever he can. But Draymond, I think it's maybe he goes to the Lakers, eh?
Another team I forgot to mention was the Clippers as well. You can go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, that doesn't work well. The Clippers are doing well, but that doesn't work well. I don't think the Draymond Green to the Lakers trade works. Also, there was some other news, right? So I don't know, because Twitter's a weird place right now because everybody has has a check mark, so I don't know who's who. But I did see, and like I said, take it with a grain of salt. This is just what I seen on there. Lakers are looking at Bradley Beal. I don't think that does anything special for that team at all.
Wait. You don't think that does anything special?
I don't think that's gonna they're gonna go from being the team they are now. It's gonna elevate the team, of course, but I feel like they're still not going to be a playoff team later on because I think that it's just. I don't think it's gonna be a playoff team with Bradley Beal.
I'm with Jason on this one. I think Bradley Beal would be a big impact with the Lakers. I'm just saying, from like a shooting standpoint, everything he would be a big plus. He would be a big plus on like the offensive side. He's not bad at defense, but he's better than what most of the players are. But I don't know if you're just going to give up Anthony Davis just for Bradley Beal. I don't think Washington's going to take that trade. I think they'd laugh at it now and just be like, "We got Porzingis. Why do we need?"
Yeah, Anthony they got Porzingis. Davis?
Porzingis is playing.
Porzingis is playing really well. Yeah.
He started to mature with the beard. The unicorn's starting to grow the beard a bit.
It's true. Yeah, he is. It looks ugly, but it's there.
I love Porzingis. I loved his game in New York. But then after New York, he went to Dallas, and then Dallas, it was just like, eh. And then now he's sort of coming to with the Wizards with Bradley Beal. I like that duo. If they stick together and get some few more pieces, they're going to be a contender. So.
Yeah, I don't really like the Bradley Beal to the Lakers trade because I'm like,
I don't think you're ever going to see that.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that one.
I think
you're going to see another one, right? Go ahead.
Oh, I think you're going to see something like you're going to see something with draft picks with the Lakers if they're going to trade. So they're going to take it like they don't have much. They're going to be like Anthony Davis with some more. They got some first rounders still, from what I've seen. So.
They have 2 in the bag they can trade.
Yeah,
2025, 2027, something like that.
I think they're going to do that.
2029 or something like that.
I think they're going to pull something out. They need to. I think so. It's always back to the Lakers, eh? It always comes around the circle, and then we go back to the Lakers. It's just that I think everyone's just shocked with the way they're playing this year. It's the LA Lakers. It's like the Boston Celtics. If they would play in a bad season, we'd be talking about the Celtics, and if they went 2-10, it's just that these teams we've had since we've grown up, like the 80s and stuff. I used to be a Lakers and Celtics fan. Magic Bird, So it's just shocking that we see the Lakers that are they're like this right now with the superstar power that they have. It's crazy. It's shocking. So
yeah. Another trade I seen was the 76ers were looking into Kevin Durant, and I'm like, maybe.
Oh, God. For who?
I mean,
what are they trading to get him?
They're gonna get Harden. You're gonna send Harden back to Brooklyn?
Embiid?
Oh my God, that would be the worst trade ever. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I like Embiid, but Embiid for Durant, no, I don't. Big guys are hard to find these days, and Embiid's like, I don't know. We even saw that in Canada. The Durant
I don't know
trade.
who they would trade for that.
Well, who would they? They would have to trade like I don't even know. They would have to trade like Harden and like a package deal or something. First round draft pick.
Maybe.
I don't know how they're pulling that off.
I don't know. I mean, well, if Brooklyn goes into rebuild mode, then I guess they can just throw some veteran pieces at him and some picks, and they'll accept that. You know.
Well, how much farther are you going to go with Brooklyn for a rebuild? Like they've been going. They had like three. They had Harden, Irving, Durant, and then now they got Durant, Irving, Simmons. It's just like who else do they need to win this team? Like what do they need? I don't understand.
The whole dream team out there.
Yeah, like what
a new front office.
Well, front office isn't going to win them on the court. Like what other players are you going to find? Like what kind of coaches is it going to take for them to win a championship with all this talent? Like I don't understand. Just go 4 out, 1 in. Give it to Durant the whole time. Everyone else, get the fuck out of his way. That's how it goes. I don't swear much, but it's just like 4 out, 1 in, let him do his thing, and that's it. Irving, everyone else, just get the fuck out of his way, give him the ball, and do his thing. It's just like it's getting crazy. Sorry, it just has to be said.
It's crazy to think that.
Sorry, Jason.
I mean, it's crazy to think that they could be below 500 with Kyrie, KD, and Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
talent wise, it's ridiculous. Like they, I feel like I think we have to review the way we view Kyrie. I feel like Kyrie, there's so many great point guards in the NBA right now that I don't even think Kyrie's a top 5 point guard anymore. Like he doesn't pass the ball well. He's kind of peaked after 2016. He hasn't improved much. Like he never grew to become a defender. He never grew to become a good passer. He's just kind of always been a bucket, right? And so I just, Kai has just hit a ceiling, and I feel like people have to rethink the way they view him. He's a specialist. He's a highly gifted scoring specialist, and that's all he does. You have to do other things.
He's dropping 30, I think, a game before his suspension. Like he's a great talent.
Yeah, he's a bucket.
Jackass off the court. That's all. If he was more of not of a jackass off the court, we wouldn't be talking about his stuff off the court. If you could just stay on the court and just maybe less of the antics off the court and maybe start winning championship, that would be nice. It's just like
who looks.
I told Jason before we came on the air that if we started talking about the Nets, I'm going to start bugging out here, and this is what's happening right now. You guys got me going all over the place here. It's frustrating to watch them because it's just like, who are they going to bring in that's going to be able to top the 3 players that they have now? It's just like there's like who are they going to get? I just don't know who they're going. This is Brooklyn's last chance. So crazy glue it together, gorilla glue it, whatever you got to do this team, and try and win a championship. I'm good. I'm not going to talk anymore.
Yeah,
I can't. I'm going to
lose. Who looks better by this, Christopher Muhammad?
Who?
The true GOAT, LeBron James, looks better by this because he had to deal with that nutcase and win a ring in 2016. MJ had to deal with a guy named Scottie Pippen who was there every night mentally wasn't, Kyrie.
Well, Dennis Rodman.
Well, I mean, Dennis Rodman, he just could let party, but let's be honest here. Dennis Rodman wasn't the number 2 guy. You know what I mean? Like,
you're right.
A very high tier role player.
The greatest rebounder of all time, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely up there for that. Yeah. Rebounder. I would say him, Moses Wilt. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Russell is great, but Rodman, Rodman brought a whole new style of rebound. I remember like the tip when you would get it in the air and then he would tip it. And the guy would be trying to jump and grab it. He would just tip it and play with him. He would just be like, oh, hey, I got the rebound.
Yeah.
So
I mean, LeBron's always going to look better because he had to deal with the nutcase, right? He had to deal with Kyrie. Like, Kyrie Irving didn't show up to practice for like the whole Eastern Conference playoffs or something ridiculous, like a whole month, the year they won it. Like, it's like something insane like that. Like, that he leaves. Kyrie Irving, oh my gosh, you remember 2016? Kyrie Irving probably thought, I'm going to go to Boston. They got Jason Tatum. They got Jaylen Brown. I'm going to run the East for the next 5 years because I'm that guy. I got to go prove it. I'm going to be the next Kobe Bryant, my idol. Boosh.
They were doing well at first. They were actually like, the Celtics were good when he was on the court, and then I don't know what happened. You know, I think he got hurt. I think he got injured. He got injured. It was like 2018.
And then he came back, and then he did like a big spiel saying that he's going to be with the Boston Celtics forever. And then his last game, he went and like wiped his feet on the logo and left. Then he got traded to Brooklyn. He's going to Brooklyn, and then he's been injured. The COVID thing, it's been like crazy.
Yeah.
I personally think, like it's hard not to talk about the politics with the NBA right now because it's sort of the two are put together right now for some of the stories, unfortunately. But it's just, I think Durant's playing amazing right now without Kyrie, and it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens when he comes back. Because we all know he's coming back. It's just a matter of when. Is he going to help? Is he going to come back and help? Or is he going to be more of a detriment to the Brooklyn Nets? And that's a big word for today, detriment. All right?
That is a big word.
That is a big word. So I'm just saying, if no one knows what detriment means, that means like, is he gonna F up? Is he gonna F up basically the Brooklyn Nets or not? So So it's it'll be interesting.
Yeah. So Chris, what do you think? Does that like reason 5,225,000 that LeBron's better than Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say so. If you guys don't have anything else to talk about,